So if you're planning to lose body fat and you want to get leaner, there are 4 questions that I would like you to ask yourself that will test your plan. They will unveil certain flaws with your plan, and that will help you set yourself up for success for not only reaching that goal temporarily, but actually creating a sustainable lifestyle change. So without any further ado, let's dive into it. So the first question that I would like you to ask yourself is, am I truly 100% committed to this fat loss phase? Am I in it to win? Am I in it to do whatever it takes? Am I in it to find whatever solution I need to find? Am I committed for this period of time? Because it is a period. I mean, you're going to be in a caloric deficit, you're going to reach your goal, you're going to get out of that caloric deficit. It is a phase. But what I do see a lot of people do is they're going to be about 80% committed. It's kind of like a nice to have. Yeah, if it happens, it would be nice, but it's not like I'm going to go out of my way to make it happen and make different sacrifices to make it happen. No, right? I'm just going to accept it if it does, and obviously it never comes like that. It's never going to appear like that because this journey is not easy. If you are actually 100% committed, you will be able to deal with the fact that it's not easy. You're going to be able to find solutions when things come up, because a phase might be 4 months, might be 6 months for you, depending how much weight you want to lose. And there's going to be a lot of stuff happening in those 4 or 6 months. Instead, what I do see, again, 80% commitment, yeah, I'm okay for 4 or 5 days of the week, and then suddenly weekends come up, and then I'm not willing to give up anything, and you just end up being stuck, end up being frustrated, end up losing a lot of motivation, and you basically make no progress. This is how, again, a lot of people end up losing the same 10 pounds over and over and over again instead of getting it done properly and then simply moving on. Second question that I would like you to ask yourself is, what are the specifics? How am I actually thinking about implementing this calorie deficit? How am I thinking about eating? How am I thinking about training? We have 168 hours a week. You should have a really clear idea, what do you do with that time? When are you going to be training? How many hours? When is that going to happen? Specifically, you can use your Google Calendar or any other calendar to plan this out. So you specifically know when are those meals going to happen, what roughly you're going to eat to get your different macros, what foods you're going to focus on, what does our grocery list look like. You really invest good time into implementation intentions. So planning things out, because when you have that specific plan in place, it just becomes a lot easier to simply follow through. And if it's kind of vague, what's going to happen is other things will start taking over, because every minute and every hour of your week will be filled out with random stuff. So you have to pre-commit certain things on that calendar, certain things that are going to happen at certain times. So then other stuff will get slightly adjusted to match that calendar. So be very, very specific. You can plan out your meals, pen and paper, you can use MyFitnessPal, whatever. But you should have a really clear plan in place. And that way, you're also removing a lot of that decision fatigue. So throughout the week, you don't have to really think about what's going to happen. You already know what should be happening. So now you can calibrate yourself slowly toward that. Now, the third question that I'd like you to ask yourself is, why am I still not liking this video? And jokes aside, please do me a favor, go below the video right now, hit that like button. It does help me out a ton, as well as pushing this video out to more people so they can benefit from the content as well. And moving on to the third question is, if this goal took me twice as long to achieve, would that still be okay? And the reason why you want to ask yourself this question is a test of patience. It's a test of long-term thinking. Because what I see a lot of people do is when they get into a fat loss phase, they start projecting. They start seeing the data add up. So they're weighing themselves. They see the weight after 4 weeks is this much, after 8 weeks is this much, and they start comparing with sort of their ideal, where they think it should be in 16 weeks or 20 weeks. And if it doesn't align, so if they're a little bit behind, they start getting really upset. They start getting really demotivated. They start thinking, this is not worth it. I thought it was going to be this and that. And there's all these expectations that they've mismanaged in the beginning. And now, obviously, reality hits, because no fat loss phase is perfect. There's always going to be something that will come up. And so what if it takes you twice as long? But no. If you're thinking about, I need to get it done by this period of time, you don't think like that. You're thinking more in lines of, this is a failure. I'm a failure. You lose the result. You end up usually regaining the weight. And again, you're back to the beginning. You have to be okay with the fact that if it takes longer, it takes longer. Are you a competitor? No? Well, what is the rush? Are you even going to remember 25 years from now how long it took you, if it's 20 or 16 weeks? Does it even matter? It doesn't. And the true thing that matters here is, how are you going to transition from that? How are you going to exit from that dieting phase? Are you going to go into proper maintenance and recomp, and you're going to try to build some muscle, stay the same weight, build some strain up? Or are you going to go into a lean gaining phase, potentially add some more muscle over time, add a little bit of weight? So what is your game plan? So you should really be thinking more about that instead of trying to rush yourself and then consistently project and ruminate, am I going to reach it or not? Because it's going to lead to a lot of frustration and it's going to lead to a lot of mistakes on your journey. Now, the fourth question that I'd like you to ask yourself is, why am I actually doing this? What's the real reason? Is it a matter of pride? Is it a matter of a personal challenge? Is it a matter of health, that you have to do it for yourself and for your family? Like, really think deeply about this. Why is this important to you? You should have very positive associations with being consistent, with applying yourself on the fitness journey. And one quick tool that I want to give you for reminding yourself of your why, because you will forget it, is to actually use one of those services where you can email your future self in 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 16 weeks, 20 weeks, every 4 weeks, every 8 weeks, however you want to set it up. Email your future self with reminders of your why. Because when you struggle, I know you're going to forget. I know in that moment you're going to forget, but you're going to get that email and it's going to remind you of all the reasons why you want to do this. All the personal, all the reasons for your family, all the reasons for everything that really matters to you. It has to matter to you. It has to be something where stakes are high. Still, to this day, when I go through a fat loss phase, it humbles me. It's never easy. It's never just a walk in the park. It is difficult. You're fighting your body. You are, let's face it, there are sacrifices to be made. It is not easy, takes a lot of hard work, takes a lot of persistence. You have to sometimes be able to give up things in the immediate to get something better in the long term. That's just how life works. There is no process where you can just take something without giving something. So it's a give and take, and you have to give up certain things. And knowing your why and the purpose behind it is so critical. If I don't have that purpose behind it, I'm not going to be willing to do that. I'm not going to be willing to make that sacrifice. And so set up those emails, set up those reminders. This is that little accountability you can place on yourself to do this correctly, and I promise you it will lead to much better results. The other thing that's going to help you get better results is if you subscribe below to the channel, enable notifications by hitting the bell icon. If you want to work with me as your coach on your fitness journey, link is in the description below. Check that out, and I will see you in my next video.